Hey guys, MCU Collect here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends Series Retro X-Men Wave 2. This is the final figure in the wave. This is Wolverine, another Wolverine figure, but you know what? I don't even mind it because now we're going to have the full X-Men team in all these suits come 2023, and we get some updated things to this Wolverine, such as pinless elbows and pinless knees. Of course, the legs are new because they have the yellow bands on there, but they are pinless, so that makes it awesome. Before I get into the review, I got my set from ToySnowman.com. They are based in Canada, so right now there is a very favorable exchange rate between the US dollar and the Canadian dollar to get you your best possible savings, and all orders over $100 get free shipping to the US and of course within Canada. A link in the video description below for my referral link, which will give you a 5% off coupon code in your Frost rewards for first-time buyers. So now we get into Wolverine, and I am very excited. It says Classic Claws. Classic Claws means we're going to give you the thin, cheap ones that we always used to give you instead of the nice, new, sturdy ones that we've made. And then here on the back of the package, we have the full wave of the X-Men figures, and then the bio reads, Wolverine suits up with a new X-Men team to take on the world's greatest threats to mutant kind. I am very excited for this one, so let's go ahead and take him out of the package. Okay, so here is the Wolverine figure out of the package, and it is a pretty good one, but I have some issue. The legs are real, like, stiff. Like, this left leg is kind of stiff in there. It's not real loose. So you might have to warm that up a bit. And then the feet, trying to get the feet planted sometimes is a pain in the ass. Just like kind of like with most figures, it's not that big of a deal, not the end of the world or anything like that. But it's just a heads up on it. Sometimes the leg wants to kind of go back onto its own. But still a very good figure nonetheless. I like that we got the new arms and stuff. But on these arms, it just seems more apparent than ever. Maybe it's the colors of how large his biceps are and how small the shoulder ball is for the Wolverine figure. But other than that, it is very good. I like that we have pinless, and I like that we have these two new Wolverine heads. I kind of went back and looked at images of Wolverine to see about these unmasked heads if they're new. I believe they are because of the way the hair is sculpted between the two of them. And kind of the facial feature. I want to say that they are new. So very exciting. Let's get in for a closer look at them. Okay, so here is the first one. This one's kind of more the angry, gritting look there with his teeth showing, and that is pretty good. I like that the lips are a pretty natural looking color. They're not too red like some of the other figures in the wave have become, like Multiple Man and Avalanche. I guess only two of the figures. So a natural look to here, and that looks pretty good. The facial print is not bad. Not a whole lot going on for it really though, it's just kind of in the eyes and stuff. But I think that looks pretty good. Now popping on this head sculpt, because this is not the one that comes on the figure out of the package. I already switched it out. But more of the relaxed face is the one that came on the package. But this one I had trouble kind of like popping it on there. And I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like these additional head sculpts, for whatever reason, are just becoming harder and harder to kind of place on. But this one, you know, pops on a little bit easier. This is more of a relaxed fit. He kind of looks high a little bit. But that looks pretty good. Crazy ass sideburns. So it looks good. But here we have the training suits, the blue and gold, and they look really good. So the nice updates here is these yellow bands are actually part of the leg. They're like a separate piece that's glued in, so the leg was probably keyed out to fit this on and then glued on. It's better than the previous Cyclops figure that we had where those bands kept falling. It was a real pain in the ass. And then here on the wrist, that is 100% part of the sculpt for the wrist, and it looks like it's cut at the forearm there, so they could swap out this piece amongst different Wolverine figures whenever they need to, as opposed to doing a whole brand new arm and everything. So that elbow piece remains a normal piece that they'll use continuing going forward. The X-Men logo belt there all looks pretty good. Really like the way it looks. We get the old school claws though. I hate these claws. They suck. They just get all flimsy and like don't like fit in nicely. You can kind of spread them out, but over time that's just going to kind of go back to the way it was. We get two interchangeable hands, so we have the fists without the claws popped, so the claws are retracted on these hands. We get the two, the left and the right, of course. And then it was that interchangeable head. That was it for accessories. Now let's go ahead and take a look at his articulation. Essentially the same as the other Wolverines. Okay, so Wolverine's articulation, he can look all the way down. The head is on a disc hinge and ball, and he can look all the way up. There, pivot is a little bit, and then full rotation. Of course, the shoulder, you can get the shoulder to go up and out a little bit there. You can do, got to get that hinge, doesn't want to work for me now. You can get a full rotation in there, upper bicep swivel, and again, just look at that shoulder ball and that bicep, and the shoulder just doesn't seem large enough, but a larger shoulder I think would definitely be an issue for the space that's in there for that shoulder and the butterfly joint. Double jointed pinless elbows, which doesn't give you a whole lot of bend because he's got some massive biceps, so you're only going to get just about 90-degree bend with that elbow, but it is pinless, which is nice because again, we've had so many Wolverine figures and they all had pins, so it's nice to get an update. Wrists swivel and they do hinge. They all do have the standard horizontal hinge on there, and then we have the butterfly cut, so you can get the arm to go back so much. Going forward though, you're really not going to get a whole lot going on in the crossbody. Oh, there we go. We get a decent amount, as you could see there. We have an ab crunch, so Wolverine himself can crunch forward that much. Not terrible, not the greatest. He can lean back that much. We do have a waist swivel in there, legs that go out only that far apart, and again, it's real stiff on my left leg. The right leg goes really no problem, but that much bend there. He can kick forward that much. Leg goes back a little bit, actually quite a bit. There we have an upper thigh cut at the top of the band, not at the bottom, at the top of the band there. Double jointed pinless knee gives you that much bend there, really nice. We do have a calf swivel right at the bottom of the band there. Foot hinges all the way down. A little bit of hinge up, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So pretty standard articulation that we see with Wolverine, but we get the updated pinless knees and the pinless elbows. So that is really, really nice. Okay, so here's the size comparison with the Love Triangle Tiger Stripe Wolverine. There's so many Wolverine figures, and I wasn't going to pull all of them out to show you guys the side-by-side comparisons, because all the Wolverine figures are essentially the same, this one kind of being more different than the others. But the torsos are the same, and then the legs are kind of what's going to be a little bit different. We don't get as much muscle definition in the legs that we got with the previous Wolverine body. And then the arms, you know, we had like sculpted like arm hair that almost was never painted. On these new biceps, they actually do seem a little bit smaller even, which is better, which I guess these shoulder pads really covered up how small the shoulder was compared to the bicep. But it does look pretty good. There's no sculpted body hair. Obviously it's a sleeve there, so you wouldn't be able to see the hair anyway. But for future Wolverine figures, what they would do, maybe they would just paint on the hair, or just go with no hair like all the other Wolverine figures. But you can see there. But they are just about the same height. If anything, this new one might be a little bit taller even. But they're pretty. Yeah, they're pretty close. It's very little difference between the two. So all the Wolverine figures are going to really be kind of along the same height. The big highlight with this Wolverine, though, because you know we're going to get Wolverine figures over and over again, is this is the start of the blue and gold suit. So next year we've already seen images of Banshee, Gambit, and Storm. So the blue and gold will continue. We'll see. You know, hopefully everyone from the cover, you know, I think it was issue 275. So we don't have Psylocke or Jubilee shown yet, unless I missed those. But the whole team will be coming. I think next year was the 60th anniversary of Xmen. So that'll be. Actually, I don't know if that's going to be the premium line. I think Dan Yoon had actually said something like it may not be like that 10-item set. I think it was in an interview somewhere that the 60th anniversary figures may not actually be a part of that official set. Who knows what that set will be? You know, that's kind of in the summer, like August, September time. So it may not be those X-Men figures. So those X-Men figures in the blue and gold suits and everything just kind of might be released throughout the year. Don't know when. The fact that they've been showing them off so much kind of lately, maybe they'll be early 2023. We shall see. But Wolverine does officially kick that off. So I can't wait to get the rest of the team in the blue and gold suits. And there he goes. Okay, so that is the last review for the X-Men Retro Wave 2, Spiral, Dark Phoenix, Avalanche, Multiple Man, Longshot, and Wolverine. The three in front being definitely the highlights of the wave for me. The Longshot is really cool, but I also got the Mojo World set that one first, so I've already kind of gone through how awesome it is. And somebody had pointed out that mine has two right leg thighs, and that is in fact true. So that sucks that this figure has that QC issue of having the wrong leg. It does not have a left leg, it has two right legs, so that kind of sucks. Multiple Man's pretty disappointing. Avalanche, there's not really a whole lot going for it. The Dark Phoenix figure is really nice. Spiral, again, is probably going to be figure of the year for me, and it's, you know, one of the last figures that's going to be coming out for the year, but it is just that damn awesome. Wolverine, I welcome every Wolverine figure. It's really cool, and for this one to kick off the blue and gold suits, that's pretty great. So a solid wave for me, but you guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of this Wolverine figure? What do you think of the Retro Wave 2? Let me know in the comments below. If you guys are interested in joining the MCU Collective and becoming a channel member, hit that join button. If you like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.